Hey baking besties, welcome back. Today we're going to do a quick video on these super easy hearts that are on this cake. We're not doing the whole cake, just the hearts. They're so easy, perfect if you're just starting out in this kind of thing. They are the easiest thing you could possibly do. There's no tempering of chocolate, nothing like that. We're literally going to go straight in with some candy melts and basic equipment that you can pick up on Amazon, and I will link everything down below for you in the description, or close as I can to what I used. My little swirly tool you will not be able to find, cannot find it anywhere, but I will link the closest for you and we'll get right into it. So first we're going to start out with our mould. We're just cleaning it out with some clear alcohol, or you can use anything else that evaporates off quickly if you don't want to use an alcohol. Okay, so I'm going to use these deco melts because I love the colour of them. The red is so rich. We've used a double boiler to melt them. If you're not sure how to use a double boiler, there is a video on my channel. Or you can do them in the microwave in 30-second bursts, super quick. These ones don't need any thinning out or anything like that. If you're using another brand, you may need to thin them out with a bit of Trex if you're in the UK, or Crisco if you are American. Okay, so we're just going to fill our moulds to whereabouts we feel is enough. I can't give you an accurate representation. Ridiculous, I know. But about maybe a quarter full, I'd say. And then using our giant ball tool just to swirl it around, and then a spatula just to neaten up the edges. Okay, that bit is important and we need to make sure that we're doing that. And then we're going to pop it in the fridge to set up. I like to go round a few times, especially with these ones because they are thinner. So as you're working with it, they do sort of start to set a little bit and thicken. And then they sort of go up the sides a little bit more for you. When you first start out, it's a little bit thin and it doesn't work up the sides as easily. Okay, we're also going to make these super easy, teeny tiny little hearts. I'm using a Calpol syringe for this because it's so easy to get it in the mould because it's such a small mould and the chocolate is quite thin for this one. But you can use anything else that you want. You can use a piping bag or something like that. And then we're going to get our cake ready. Now this is just a standard food processor with the standard blade attachment. And we're just popping it in on full speed and whizzing it up until it looks like breadcrumbs. Okay, and then I'm adding a small amount of buttercream, which I do put gloves on for because I've got long nails and I don't want it all up my nails. Okay, so we're making it into a consistency where you sort of get all of the crumbs, etc., into that ball, and then when you roll it up, it all stays together. It's not an exact science. You'll get used to what works best for you, but this is the sort of Play-Doh-y consistency that you are looking for. Now, next step, this bit's optional, but I always do this myself. I like to go over the walls of the love heart once more. I'm not doing the bottom, and I'm only using a paintbrush with the chocolate, and I'm just going around the edges just to make sure we've got no gaps, nothing's too thin, it's not going to crack, etc. And then we're going to pop these back in the fridge for 10 minutes before we fill them with our dough that we just made. Okay, so we're just popping that dough into, I mean, if the camera would focus, it would be nice. But popping the dough into the love heart and then just gently moulding it, leaving it maybe 1 or 2 millimeters from the top. Obviously, that is down to personal preference, how neat you want the back to be, etc. I knew the backs of these weren't going to be seen, so it really didn't matter. And then just using the heel of your hand to press it into the mould firmly, but not harshly, if that makes sense. You don't want to crack the mould. Okay, and then next we're going to smear on some more melted chocolate. I keep mine at a standard temperature as I go about it, rather than letting it set and having to remelt it. I do it on a double boiler and it stays quite warm, and then I just pop it back on the pan, but without the pan being on, and just being on top of that warm water is enough to keep it cool. Then pop them back in the fridge for another 10 or 15 minutes, or in the freezer if you're in a rush, and then we're just going to demold. So we're just pulling the mould away from the love hearts before we pull them out. These are really easy to demold. You really don't, you won't break any. If you break any, then I don't know what you've done, but they're really hard to break as you demold them. Whereas things like cakesicles are a bit easier to break with the sticks and such. They are quite hard to demold. Okay, and now we're going to decorate them. So I have got a piping bag inside a pint glass, obviously stolen from my local pub. And I'm popping my chocolate in there. Again, keeping it to that temperature and just swish, swish, swish across them. And then the next one, we're going to do gold splats. We're going to pop a bit of gold luster. Again, I'll link some down below for you. And a bit of dipping solution in a pot. It's a shot glass, obviously. I am British. And then mixing it up to a mid consistent. You don't want it too thin because it will run off them. You don't want it too thick because then it won't splat. I usually splat my brush a couple of times off to the side before I start, just to make sure that I get a nice soft splat and not too heavy. If you go straight in, you'll get a big thick splat on there, and you don't want that. You want nice soft speckles. Okay, again, so easy. And I also did this on the little ones as well to match. Here they are. And then that is literally it. You are done, and you can enjoy eating them or you can decorate with them. And here's where they ended up. This cake will also, I'll upload the video for this in the next coming days. This one was also super easy to do. Great for if you're just starting out or you just want a nice sleek cake. It was supposed to be a birthday cake, ended up looking like an emo Valentine's cake. Can't say I'm particularly mad about that. Quite liked how it turned out. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.